Okay, we are all in our places with smiles on our faces. Did you remember that, everybody? I'm sorry, I could not resist that. I could not resist that. I'm so excited that y'all are here today because we are going to be talking about the fall equinox. This Sunday, September 22nd, is the fall equinox. And how do you celebrate? Why should you celebrate anyway? You know, some people don't even celebrate it. We're going to be talking about that. And if you would like to start celebrating it, how can you do that? And we have 5 different ways that you can. And for those of you who don't know us, I'm Cindy Kabika, and this is The Soul View. And joining me, co-hosts Lorelei Robbins and Shabani Ganell. And we're going to start off with Shabani, or excuse me, we're going to start off with Lorelei. Shabani, yeah, I want you to do the, I want you to do the cosmic weather. I want to see how that'll go. There's a moon, there's a sun.
Well, again, and we'll be talking more about this, we're coming up on the end of a season. And the equinoxes and the solstices are the times when the sun, whether we celebrate the occasion or not, when the sun goes into one of the 4 initiating signs of the zodiac. So right now, we're coming up on late Saturday night on the sun going into Libra, and that's the initiating air sign. So this really is a time for us to be contemplating what has occurred or not occurred since the summer solstice, which would have been the last time that the sun went into an initiating sign. So we'll be talking more about specifics, but just knowing that we're coming, and it's always a time of endings and beginnings. So this is really an opportunity to take stock, to take inventory. And again, we'll be talking some more specifics. And again, in addition to that, of course, we have Venus and Mars, the 2 relationship planets, in very different energies now. Venus, what we value, what we love, what we appreciate, what brings us pleasure, is in the deepest, most intense, powerful, transformative, magical, therapeutic, regenerative sign of Scorpio. So the opportunity for relationships now to sort of clean out the gunk and really be honest and direct is huge. And we'll be talking more in a couple of weeks. Venus is going to retrograde. So while there's this desire for intense connection, on the other hand, Mars, which is what drives us and what we're passionate about and what we desire, is in Aquarius. Well, Aquarius is don't fence me in. Give me space, let me breathe. So can you sort of see what an interesting dance some of us may be doing now, depending on how we're wired, around wanting that close, intimate connection with people, not just romantic, and the need for space if the connection is too obsessive. So like everything else, you know, things play out in relationship, but they start here first. So that need for a balance between closeness and intimacy and freedom and space is going on for everybody now.
Beautiful. Well, I want to go ahead and have Shabani come on, and I emailed you something earlier, and I would love for you to just read that.
Emailed me or Skyped?
Oh, or excuse me, I Skyped it to you, yeah.
Oh, okay, let me have a look.
Okay. This, you know, I love this. I love the equinoxes because they are day of balances. And for me, when I think about celebrating them, I think about celebrating balance in my life because so many times things are not in balance.
Yeah.
And we have all had that. And I think that's what that was about, just a definition.
Yeah, so Australians actually don't acknowledge that an equinox or solstice marks the official start of a season. And I actually Googled why, and I came up with, in the Northern Hemisphere, it is commonly understood that the first day of spring, summer, autumn, and winter, God, this bird is loud.
It's spring there, and we appreciate that. Ours are all leaving.
Yeah. So basically, in the northern hemisphere, it's commonly understood that the first day of spring, summer, autumn, and winter occur with the relevant equinox or solstice. Every school's kid knows it, yet in Australia, it's conventional to say that each season begins on the first day of a month. So, for
Wow.
example, we know 1st of September, spring started for us.
That really simplifies it, doesn't it?
It does, but it's like off. I guess it's that rebellious Australian thing. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're not going to do what everybody else does.
Right.
Yeah, why would we do that? We've got our own way of doing things.
Right, exactly.
Well, we are on the other side of the planet, so why not?
Yeah.
Might as well. Well, let's talk about just a moment. Lorelei, go into it just a little bit more of what this is, what's happening that creates the equinox. First of all, the word equinox means equal.
Right, which means equal balance between day and night. So what's happening now is the sun on Saturday night at 9:54 p.m. Eastern time is going to leave the adaptable earth sign of Virgo and shift into, again, the initiating air sign of Libra. So that's why, again, these 4 times of the year, whether they're the first of the month or when they really are, I don't know, are so powerful, because it's a time to really look at, and I would encourage everyone now to be looking at, what am I done with? What can I leave behind? And it could be anything from stuff that you clean out, the usual closets and all that. And it can also be, wow, you know what? I get angry too easily, or I'm too easily hurt, or, there's still too much martyr in my field. Well, here's an opportunity to make a shift. It's like this is a corner turner, a page turner, or turning a corner. So the exciting part of this is that the endings and the beginnings really are equal, and we're tapping a tradition and a heritage and a resonant and a magic that, years ago, people would travel for days to come together to celebrate for a week to 10 days. They would celebrate the equinoxes and the solstices. So those people kind of knew intuitively that this was, the marking of a new season. So it's another one of those opportunities where the universe really supports the change. So this would be a time to be doing lists of things like, gee, I still am too sensitive about such and such. So it could be things like that, where it's like, wow, I really would like to change this pattern that's been around forever. And to harness the energy of a solstice or an equinox to do that, it's like you could experience more of a tailwind than a headwind, which we do sometimes in life if we're, going against the natural rhythm of things. So again, I would really encourage people to allow this release process, and then to be also listing, what are my personal dreams, my global dreams, So basically you could have 2 lists. What am I ready to let go of? And what do I want to create in my life? And this, again, would be one of those really pivotal times to put that out to the universe, where that energy would be responded to perhaps more easily than it might be at another time.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up is that, for those of us in the northern hemisphere that are celebrating the fall equinox, it's a time to go inward. And our creations can be inward creations. So for me, as both of you know, it's a time for me to go inward. And I have my special shirt. This is my fall writing shirt. When it gets cool, I sit outside in the coolness of the morning, and I put on my lined shirt, and I write, and it is the most creative time for me because I'm going inward. And the summer or the spring is all about coming out. We're blossoming. We're going back out into the world again and manifesting in the world. And this is a way for us to go inside and blossom.
Absolutely. And then at the winter solstice, we're at the lowest point of light. And then the light returns. So that's exactly right. In this next 3 months, we are going inward. That's exactly
right. Unless, again, you're in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah. And for us, it's the opposite. We are just
coming out.
So you're having a coming out party.
Yeah. We're having a coming in party.
Yeah. And we're going in party.
Yeah.
But either way, whichever hemisphere, there's still a shift of energy going on that we can basically avail ourselves of. So, and typically the solstice and the equinoxes, it's about a week. It's like the 3 days before, the day of, and the 3 days after. So in a sense, this, let's see, so it's Saturday night. What do we know? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we're in that, just about in that 3 day period. So, people can feel stuff, they can start, even though we're building to a full moon next week, it's still a release of the season. So I've seen some amazing things manifest for myself and others that are planted, if you will, or that are desired at the equinoxes and the solstices. And of course, this is the sun going into Libra, which is relationship. So the first 6 signs of the zodiac, Aries through Virgo, it's more internal. Sun going into Libra is reaching our hand out to the other person, in a cooperative, co-creative, collaborative way. So this is really an opportunity for everybody to be looking at our relationships to everything, not just to people even, but to our animals, our car, our money, our home, the work that we do. What is my relationship? What is the balance or not? We can be looking at the balance or imbalance in any of these relationships with anyone or anything.
And I think a really key thing for all of us is balance. The littlest things can throw us out of balance. Both Shivani and I are in the same situation right now. We both have new puppies and they demand a lot of attention. And so both of us have been thrown off balance, and we have to create new routine, new morning rituals completely. Am I right, Shivani?
Oh, yeah.
So what new are you doing right now that you weren't doing before you had this, I was going to say little puppy, but your little puppy is a big puppy compared to mine.
God. Look, what new am I doing? Well, in a week's time, he's going to adult obedience class. So that's new. We just finished puppy class.
All right.
And he's got new toys because the other ones are destroyed.
So picking up toy pieces and tissue and paper, because my
clothes. Because he runs off with my clothes.
Yep.
Oh, so the new thing is to be more responsible, putting everything away out of necessity.
New ritual. Look around for everything and see what's around that could end up being a puppy chew toy.
Yeah, that's the one.
So, we think of a lot of these rituals or ways of celebrating the season changes like this as something that has to be really complex, and it doesn't. It can be just being mindful of the new things that you're doing, just like, when you have a new little life in your home. For me, the new ritual is taking him outside every morning to go to the potty first thing. He has not had an accident. I think he's only had 3 since he's been here. So he's really great. And then we go to the bus stop. That's every morning. It's the same ritual. And then come in and he does all of his obedience tricks and all of that. We do with the first half of his food, of his cup of food, and the second half I just put in the bowl and let him eat it. So, you know, but I'm very conscious and very mindful and very loving, because it can be very frustrating. And sometimes you can just, my shoe, you know, but you just being really loving and very mindful that you have this young new life, you know. So if you have, you know, even animals that you've had for a while, you know, being more mindful of those animals during this time, that's something that you can do.
Mm.
I want to go ahead and I put a list of 5 things together and would love y'all's comments on it. This one I really love. Harvest your gratitude. What have you been grateful for throughout this last season? What have you been what are you grateful for? Harvest that gratitude. And what does that mean to you? Shivani?
Look, I think it's so integrated for me now to be grateful. I do it spontaneously all day, every day.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Me too.
But you know, I'm grateful for having Akash, my puppy, grateful for having my house. I'm getting part of my back veranda renovated, so I'm grateful that I can mossy proof it, which is important for summer, coming into summer. So, well, it is. Because we have a lot of diseases that come from mosquitoes, so that's quite real. It's not just the mossy per se. So yeah, grateful. I've just sold 20 readings, mini readings, Akashic mini readings to a summit. So grateful for people. So yeah, grateful I found a source of fresh fish.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
I did too. There's a guy that moved here from Alaska. He's here part-time, and because he has family here, and then he's in Alaska part-time, and he catches fresh salmon and brings it here, and black cod, which I love, and he brings it here and sells it at the farmer's market.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So Lorelei, how do you, your gratitude?
Again, gratitude is a daily practice for me pretty much all the time. And I have a gratitude list that I do in the morning. There are 7 statements. That's my number. And a lot of times what's on there is, again, believing that everything's happening for me as opposed to me. Sometimes the things on my gratitude list are, I'm grateful for the tears. I'm grateful, whatever it is. It's like, so for me, I keep this sort of revolving door with gratitude. It's like my mindfulness is to choose to be grateful to everything that happens, even the stuff that would be, oh my God, is that happening? Ultimately, there's good in there somewhere. So, but I love the word harvesting gratitude. I think that word, that verb is a way to be mindful of that, you know? Because again, if we can sometimes find just one little thing to be grateful for, gratitude is an amazing thing. It's exponential, you know? It's like the more grateful I am, the more I have to be grateful for. And as I said, it's not always the good stuff. You know, like, oh, I'm so glad with this client, or I'm glad that that's all great. But sometimes it's, you know, I'm grateful that I lost my temper. I mean, I don't know, you know, it's like, because there is God in all of it. So as opposed to, you know, I'm not grateful for that, but I'm grateful for all of this stuff, you know, the good stuff. Well, depends how we define good, doesn't it?
Well, what does harvesting mean?
Well, to me, harvesting is just like harvesting a crop, you know, bringing in the abundance, you know, receiving the abundance. I mean, I love that word. That's hard to harvest something.
And that it's the abundance of gratitude that where I was getting to in this, when I wrote this down, because I write down my gratitude statements, but what am I harvesting because of this gratitude is the next step to all of those things. So it's not just what I'm grateful for. It's, you know, because I'm always in gratitude, because I'm mindful of being grateful of life from day to day and the things that happen to me. Because of that, I live in greater balance.
Right.
I live with greater peace. Because of that, I'm able to catch myself when I'm out of gratitude and quickly move back into gratitude. You know, if I lose my way or get, you know, have a hot temper moment, as we all do, you know, we all lose it from time to time. And because I rarely write down gratitude from that, I get to harvest that immediate connection I have with being grateful. That makes sense?
Beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And the next one, this is something that I like to do. I like to take the gratitude list and actually take the key words from it and make a poem. So if any of you, if you want to do that, whatever you're grateful for, get creative. You can put your creativity shirt on if you want, or for Shivani, it's going to be something more lightweight because it's her spring. And it's always beautiful. Her cold is our blessing weather.
Our warm.
So anyways, you can just take keywords from that and come up with something really creative. So for those of you who are very creative and want to write a poem, we want to hear them. So if you're on our YouTube channel, go ahead and post them below. If you are right now, if you're thinking of something and you're on with us, go ahead and post it to the side. Or if you're on Facebook, go ahead and post it below because we want to hear from you. We also love to have you as part of our community. So please hit the like button on what we're doing. If this is something that you love, please hit the high five of that like button, and also subscribe to our channel. Now, the next thing that I have is creating fall decor. Many people see because I post my fall decor. This is a big deal for me because I love getting into the right brain. The right brain is your creative brain. And when you're decorating or redecorating, whether this is spring or fall, it's an opportunity for you to awaken your creative brain. And by moving anything, Bed Bath & Busy, I've talked about this before, Bed Bath & Busy activates the creative brain. And so when you do that, you'll notice that as you are doing this, all these wonderful ideas start coming up. So have pen and paper around so that you can start jotting these things down. And then the next one, number 3, is take pictures of your puppy dogs, Shivani, in front of the flowers that you're just planting or things that you're just planting. And then as he grows, you can see the plants grow as he grows. And for me, it was always my granddaughter or grandson. I would put them in front of the displays that I did in the fall and the spring. And that way it's a marker for me to see how much they've grown from season to season. And if you're a parent, you know how important that is. Now I'm a doggy mommy and a kitty mommy too, but getting them to sit still isn't always for a picture is not always a good thing. You got to catch them on the fly. And then, another thing I love to do, create a harvest meal. Go to your local, and if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you do the opposite. Whatever in season for you, wherever you live, create a seasonal meal and just celebrate the energy of this new season coming in. You know, we just got the best sweet corn. Now I don't eat a lot of corn, but I do on this day. It's my favorite. My husband's favorite thing in the world is corn. He's from Iowa. What can I say? The corn country.
Yeah, really.
So that's one thing that we do, and you know, however you want to celebrate, that during that meal, it's just a wonderful blessing to get together with your family and create this meal. And it doesn't have to be anything real fancy, but I like to just try new recipes. I always find something new and try it with the things that I find. This week, this last weekend, what Gary and I did, there's a ranch here called the Gratitude Ranch.
Gratitude.
And it's this gay couple. And they moved here from California. And they said, instead of gratitude, it's gratitude. and they have adopted 2 children, and the twins. And they bought a farm way out in the country. And it is a farm, part of it is for profit where they hold events, but the nonprofit is raising money to help kids that are in foster care actually transition into adulthood, because many of these kids are just kind of tossed out and they don't have the opportunity to really learn life skills that they can move forward with, and they end up in really bad situations. So they raise money for that. So they have these harvest meals. And it was everything. It's farm to table. And it was absolutely spectacular. And to know that the money goes to these children was just wonderful. And we got to see the goats and the chickens and the horses and the dogs that make your dog, Shivani, look like a little tiny baby. I think one of them was, I think he said like 160 pounds or something.
Oh my God.
Huge dog.
More like a pony than a dog.
Actually was bigger than the little pony they had. So it was fun. So, I'd love to know if you have anything that y'all want to add to that list of ways that people can celebrate.
Well, and again, I would highly suggest and encourage everyone to celebrate the endings, the things that are ending, the things that you've decided to end or to shift, to celebrate, because whatever it is that we are letting go of or releasing, it served its purpose. So to celebrate, to actually make sacred that whatever that is just another way of creating the path for the new to come into that space.
That speaks to me too, Lorelei, because I've had to come to terms with, I've been a cat person for 20 years. Cats are really easy. And having a dog is like having a kid.
Oh.
Didn't you realize that?
I forgot that. It's been many years since I've had a dog.
Gosh, she's brave. One is plenty for me.
Letting go of that freedom.
Yeah.
And thinking of it not as you lost your freedom, but you found new opportunities to get out of the house, because Ferris and I will sit at the computer sometimes for 16 hours without hardly getting up. And with a dog, I have to get up. I have to get outside. So it's an opportunity for me to actually get out in the world, and I'm meeting my neighbors. I don't know my neighbors. I've lived here 20 years. I don't know. I know a couple of neighbors, that's all. And now I'm meeting my neighbors after 20 years.
Wow.
So it's letting go. It's the ending of that kind of freedom that I had, but there's a new beginning to something really cool here. And I didn't know these people because, I've been a workaholic. I sit at a computer all the time. So.
My neighbors came already to look at the puppy.
Is he still getting in your lap or can't do that anymore?
Bit too big. And he didn't try today, which was good. Well, he does, I have a 2-seater, and then he's half his body is off me and the other half is on me.
And by the way, I think it's October 15th. We're going to have Danielle McKinnon on.
Oh,
so I can't remember if it was the 10th or the 15th. And I put it on the calendar. So everybody, be ready to ask your questions about your animals to her. She's amazing. So anything final that you want to add? And do we have any comments from folks?
We do, but it's not about the equinox.
Okay.
From last week, I think.
Yeah, and Carol's gone now.
Yeah. Last week I mentioned my son and daughter-in-law. They have temporarily separated. The fracture in their marriage is just what Lorelei described. My son has wanted family and bent over backwards in their relationship. My daughter-in-law is the one who feels confined and in need of independence. For myself, I'm realizing I need to move from indifference into a willingness to be different. I'm doing the gene keys. Don't know what that is.
Oh.
I don't know about it. I've heard of it. I'm not really familiar with it either. But that is a perfect example of, here's one person in a relationship. And remember, this is not just about people that are married or romantic, but who wants family and the other wanting independence. So, that dichotomy would be more front and center for folks now.
And Chris asked you, I think, any info on 22/8/18 ascension?
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah,
So that might be something else.
Did we miss it?
Yeah. She might be talking about BJ's class.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that might be a question for BJ. Okay, and on Facebook we have Cindy Weber. Hi, Cindy. And also Mona. And she connects to all that. She connects with all that we've been doing. So thank you. That's great.
Thank you.
Well, this has been fun. Our goal here is to keep this shorter and much more informational. Please let us know how you feel about what we are doing. We're going to try and do 3 to 5 things that you can try each time that we get together. If you have ideas for our shows, please let us know. And yes, we are going to do the spiritual laws. Now, the reason we didn't start it, we forgot that it was the equinox. So we definitely wanted to talk about that energy coming in, but also we're going to space them out. We're not going to do all of them in a row. We're actually talking about it, and we're going to get organized before we launch into it. When we started looking at it, it was a lot more than we initially realized in putting this together. So we want to make it very informational for everyone and have some really strong takeaways. So we are working on that, and hopefully we will start that next week. And any final thoughts, ladies?
Just to really observe the sacredness of this time as we go into, again, the letting go, the gratitude for that, and the gratitude for what's coming. It's like just walking through a threshold. And it can be as significant or not as you choose. Some can be very ritual with it and others not. But again, it's a passage. And by, acknowledging the passage of one season and the arrival of another is a very powerful thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And Shivani, any final thoughts for her?
The vision I just got was it's probably the equivalent of taking off one garment and then putting on the new.
Oh, I love that.
That's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's just what came in.
Love that.
Well, I want to thank all of you for being here today. And again, go ahead and like our channel or subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell down there too, so that you get notifications when we upload a new video. And also like this video and join us on Facebook. Much love to you all. Until next time, namaste.
Namaste.